Does this mic work?
Hello?
Well then, fuck that mic!
What are we doing? What are we doing?
You're listening to the only podcast that admits they might know what they are talking about.
Because they came to whose house? Oh!
This is We Might Know Sports.
I love you!
I hope everyone has a ball.
The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen.
With Stefan.
Yeah, that's nice.
Kevin. Think it's going to work this time. And Corey.
You should have started reeling because I bit all over that.
We like sports and we don't care who knows.
I feel like I just destroyed my life in general.
No for gay Jesus people!
Solid A+.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
There's a no-hitter right now. Bottom of the seventh. Oh, never mind. No longer a no-hitter.
Wow!
Yeah, well, who'd you say Stefan?
Darby. Yeah, say my name right if I come on this fucking show, dude. I said Sam Darby. Sam Darby for Heisman.
Sam Darnold?
Darnold, whatever his name is. Ronald.
Does this mic work?
Hello?
Some of us are already drunk. What can I say? Oh, that's awesome. Messed up I got windows open. And not real windows because it's freezing outside for some reason in Seattle. But I mean, like, windows.
It's snowing in Seattle, isn't it?
It snowed yesterday. It might snow tonight. Who knows? The apocalypse is upon us. There's many issues. I'm sure Stefan has some issues with my top 25 because I noticed one before we went live.
I was going to tear your ass apart on it, too.
Yeah, so there's plenty of issues. I'm drinking a 7-year-old beer right now. We've compromised to that being my bet, correct, guys?
Correct.
Two of them, right?
Two of them.
Two of them. Well, the other one's not 7 years old, but it's still pretty high up there. Some Dogfish Head 120. That one's only like a year old, I think.
It'll do.
But
I guess.
Stupid.
The goddamn Jets.
I also got some new play clips from last episode, including this one.
Come on!
So we got DMX on our podcast this week and for the next couple weeks at least.
And this is a big episode. We're at number 50.
5-0. We're 2 away from the year mark, Stefan and Corey. I mean, Corey, you were pretty much there at the beginning, and then Stefan.
I think by now I've caught up to Stefan.
You've surpassed him, I think, at this point.
Still wasn't an OG.
I'm not an
Still not an
originator.
OG.
He was the original
Just an
guest
imitator.
turn host, so we'll see if we have Joe on later. I don't know. He never got back to me, so there's that. I've got, in remembrance of the long-lost Tampa Bay Ray, now San Francisco Giant, Evan Longoria. After 10 long years in Tampa Bay, he's going to a team that will probably win the World Series next year. But we'll talk about that come March. How was your Christmas holiday, gentlemen?
It was good. Tiring, but good.
Mine was fantastic.
And not tiring.
Probably the best Christmas I've ever had.
Yeah? Why?
Santa gave him everything he wanted.
Everything you wanted?
Got everything I wanted. Got an Eagles win and a fantasy football championship.
No, that's true.
That's all I asked for.
Oh, I also found these cheap trophies that we can pass out for whatever we win. So, Stefan, I got a NASCAR trophy for you.
Yay.
We got to vote on which one we want, we want a thumbs up or a banana. So, there's that in the workings. That'll appease also. I think the Beer Mile champ should get like a can.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. Give that to Ben. And
the football champ, regular season coming upon us, right? Or are we going all the way through playoffs?
I don't even know if it really matters at this point, unless we're giving bonus points.
Yeah. Well, I picked every
Stefan's-
single game opposite of Stefan on purpose because that's the only way I can win.
Oh, there you go. Strategy.
Wait, for what?
For the regular season, the only way I can beat you is if
Except
you
the Bucks
if
game.
you go 0-5 and I go 5-0.
You didn't pick the Bucks game different. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm still sober enough to realize that. But do you guys want to start with NFL since Stefan made it home in time for the start?
Sure.
So, Stefan, go ahead. Your team's the only one relevant in our conversation right now, so you can lead the way.
Eagles offense did not look pretty at all. They had a few bad turnovers, but the rest of the team defense showed up. I'm not seeing, unless I really hope they just go run heavy in the playoffs and not try to rely on Nick Foles. But if they fall behind early, obviously they're going to have to rely more on him. But it was actually a pretty boring game, which I was actually hoping for. And they ended up kicking a field goal and then got a garbage touchdown at the end that I think actually ruined a lot of Vegas
Whoops.
odds. And probably a lot of fantasy championships too.
Probably.
Yeah, that's about it.
So you don't foresee this team going to the Super Bowl in its current state?
I mean, Foles looked good the first week, but it was against the Giants defense. I wasn't jumping on the bandwagon saying he's going to be a stud.
Right.
But I thought that he could at least manage. And I mean, I wouldn't say he played terrible, but you just see some of his throws and they just weren't very good. He's not mobile at all. You get him, if you get pressure on him in the pocket, it's not going to end well.
But what I will say is the last few weeks, it's shown to me that the Eagles' offensive line really is the best in football this year. Foles doesn't get touched, so all he's got to do is make good choices.
And
I wasn't sure if it was because Wentz was so mobile that was the reason he wasn't getting hit and was able to have time. But Foles is not mobile, and he has plenty of time, especially against a good rush from the Oakland Raiders. Bruce Irvin and Khalil Mack couldn't get to him. It's a good line.
Not gonna lie, Corey, I was just trying to do that to make sure my voice was coming through on the stream, so you were fine.
All right. Well, that's my take on the Eagles right now. I don't think they'll win the Super Bowl, but their offensive, when you have a good offensive line, you never know.
And with that defense, I mean, they've been hit or miss, but when they're on, I mean, they shut down the Raiders quite nicely.
Yeah, their defense could be one of those years where a defense could win a championship. Foles just has to manage the game.
I think this is the year because if we look, besides the Rams, I don't really see a dominating offense. The Rams, to me, have the best offense in football. I don't know if it's statistically they're the best or not. Probably not. Patriots probably are, but
Eagles were up there.
The Rams' offense is unreal.
Saints are probably up there,
especially after this week. The Rams really ran it down whoever's throat it was.
Still lost.
And then there is our teams, Corey. Our teams can play spoiler to some teams' hopes. Your team happened to do that with the Lions.
Yeah, my dad's favorite team is the Lions, so it was a rivalry game for me. I was kind of surprised. I was actually hoping the Bengals would just throw it at this point rather than the draft pick. The Lions' defense sucked. The Bengals were able to run it down their throat. Giovanni Bernard, who I've been saying is the best player on the Bengals for a long time, finally looks healthy. The last few weeks he's looked good because he tore his ACL last year around this time, and he came back. He tried to come back within 7 months. I think that's a mistake always. I don't know who can recover like that. It's supposed to be a year recovery, and now all of a sudden it looks like he's back to where he was. He ran for 129 yards on a decent Lions rush defense. And Matt Stafford sucked. So that big contract he got, he choked under pressure, which he normally is good under pressure.
Question off of Facebook for us, coming from a Sean Dunlap. Eagles versus Vikes NFC Championship?
I don't think the Eagles make it.
What do they reseed? Does the first place team play the lowest seed?
We talked about that. I'm not sure. We know in other
think
sports
so.
they do, but I don't know if they do in the NFL.
Let me do some research.
So they've got the home field advantage for the two.
Right now, we only know one wild card.
Right.
We know the Panthers, and that's what the Vikings will. Well, we don't really know if the Panthers get through, but
You got the Seahawks possibly getting in, or the Falcons.
correct. And then the other two teams would be
And you've got the Saints, Panthers,
Rams.
Rams, and the Vikings.
All right, so what I read quickly, they do not have a fixed bracket, so they would reseed.
Yeah, that's what I thought the NFL did.
They reseed.
Mm-hmm. So the lowest seed to get through will end up playing the Eagles. So, I mean, obviously it could. That's the best case. I mean,
The lowest. So,
it should meet up with the Vikings and Eagles if everything went true to seed, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
if you guys just keep winning.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, do you think the Eagles are gonna win? Get there.
I think it's going to depend on who they have matched up. I think if they play the Falcons, they could beat the Falcons.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think the Falcons are impressive this year.
What if they play the Saints or Panthers? Because if the Rams win, they'd be playing against the Vikings.
That's the two teams who I think are dangerous.
I think Saints will probably beat them pretty good. I think they could hang with the Panthers, though. I mean, they proved it once. Obviously, they had Wentz at the time, but
The Panthers are also kind of one of those teams that are hit or miss, obviously, with this weekend having to take Tampa into the last 2 minutes.
yeah, Panthers have been kind of up and down.
Hot as of late, though.
Obviously, more up than down because they've got a.
We just
pretty
talked
good
about the
record.
Vikings, so obviously the Panthers are a bad matchup for them because Cam Newton blasted them. So I remember we were all shocked at that score. It wasn't even a close game. So like you said, it comes down to matchups. Obviously the Vikings don't want to see the Panthers go through.
Vikings are what? The only team that has a top 10 pass offense, top 10 rushing offense, top 10 pass defense, and top 10 rushing defense.
So you're trying to tell me they're the most well-rounded team?
Most well-rounded team.
Yeah.
Well, if any team should make it out of there, it should be them, but we all know how shoulds work.
I think that's why the Panthers are tricky for them because there's an X factor on that team.
Yeah, we got an X factor too.
Your X factor is out.
It's coming back. One leg.
Crutches and all. And then, as we said just a minute ago, Tampa had the Panthers on the line, gave it away in the last 2 minutes. One big takeaway I'm taking away from this game is that Jameis Winston still cares, even though the team's been done for a couple of weeks. He was very verbal after fumbling the ball away with one of the refs. Still shows he's got that fire and passion. It may show a little immaturity, but I kind of appreciated it. It shows that he still wants the W no matter what. So it's one thing to take away. This team is looking a lot better now that they've been eliminated from the playoffs. They just haven't had that one play to win the game. So we'll see what happens this offseason with the rumors flying around with John Gruden. You know, you fired the coach for a reason in 2007, so why bring him back? But that's not my place to say. We'll see what happens this offseason. Could all just be words. Tampa Bay hasn't had a coach for longer than 2 seasons since John Gruden, so hey, who knows?
Sounds a lot like Buffalo. Their coaching carousel.
I think they're happy, though, right now.
Yeah, I think
Everybody. You don't think that the Eagles were happy with Chip Kelly his first year? Went 10-6. Made the playoffs.
I don't actually think the Eagles were upset when it went that downhill. I think they're upset with his GM moves.
No, they were upset with those, but they were he was.
Well,
taking,
if you're
he
gonna,
took a big step.
I was
back.
gonna say, if you make big moves like that, you better put a good product on the field, and both went wrong for him. He made big moves, and then the Eagles weren't winning either. That just ruined everything.
The other thing is you can't take a coach's first year. I mean, a lot of times they still have players of their own system, of the last system. They don't have players for their own system, so wait till he gets his players. Maybe it doesn't work out the way that he wants it to. Maybe Buffalo just had a fluke year and they actually played decent. Who knows? You know, they don't have a quarterback, so
I don't really think they have much of a defense either.
their defense is actually one of the top defenses.
I know it. I think it's overperformed personally this year. Just like the Saints defense.
All right, moving on to the first Thursday night, was it?
We didn't have a game this Thursday.
Oh, Saturday, excuse me.
Saturdays,
Colts versus
yeah.
Ravens. That's right. Sorry, I'm already feeling the effects of that first beer. Because I'm looking at the screen and watching you guys talk 20 seconds later. So that's awesome. Watching the Facebook stream, I mean. So. What do we have? Ravens beat the Colts 23-16, staying in the playoff hunt.
That was a must-win for them.
Yeah.
Colts still showing life without Andrew Luck, so is there promise for this team, or
They get an offensive line, there is.
I feel like with Andrew Luck, when he finally comes back, I mean, as long as he comes back as he was before all this.
Yeah. Which is no guarantee.
Probably going to need to update the running game. I don't know how that one rookie, or was he a rookie or just
Mac,
a young guy?
he's a rookie.
I don't know if he was.
I think.
If he was their answer. I know they still went with a lot of.
there's
good
like
congrats.
sludge? No, there's like sludge at the bottom.
Oh, you got to eat that too.
Oh, okay.
That's the fermented part.
But I don't know. They got to do something. I mean, Gore is only going to be there for. I mean,
Hopefully, not any longer.
everybody keeps saying that he's going to be gone soon, and the dude just keeps on performing. So who knows?
But he's performing at an average
Yeah.
level. It's not like he's good.
Yeah, at some point you got to take a gamble and try to bring in somebody else. Ravens, I think they've overperformed this year. I didn't think they were that good of a team, or should have been that good of a team.
One thing I'll say about the Ravens is they obviously have a good defense.
Mm-hmm.
And
Beautiful.
I think with John Harbaugh being there before, winning a Super Bowl before, they're going to have that experience factor. Joe Flacco's been there before. I don't think they're going to be very nervous in the playoffs, and I think they can win. That always makes a dangerous team. I think they're going to come.
Go ahead and writing them into the playoffs.
Oh, I forgot that they aren't in it anymore.
They got the Chiefs. Or no, sorry, I lied. What do they have this week? The Steelers. Oh, god damn it. Bengals. God.
Yeah, I'm writing them in. Bengals could try to play spoiler to two teams, but I don't think that'll happen.
I mean, it gives you something to play for when you can spoil somebody else's season.
If you can't go, I can't go. Or you can't, I can't go if you can't go.
Kind of gets you hyped up.
If they can finish 7-9, I'd be a little more happy. 6-10 is not good.
4-12's not good either.
No.
Is that an impressive win by the Vikings? 16-0 over the Packers?
No.
No.
Without Aaron Rodgers?
Or Devontae Adams? No.
Was it the first time the Packers were shut out in years?
At home, nonetheless.
Yeah, I was not even going to really talk about that. That game doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
That doesn't matter.
Well, it did put pressure on the Eagles to win. If the Eagles hadn't won, then
yeah,
Vikings still had a chance. But
he said the Rams lost. They won. The Bears over the Browns. I thought that was the last chance for the Browns to get a win.
oh, I got it mixed up. But, no, you're fine. Yeah.
That's you thought maybe two, right, Kevin?
Yeah, I picked it and pick 'em.
Yeah.
I was just hoping. Giving them hope. Giving Cleveland a little bit of hope, but instead 0-16. ESPN
Yeah, I
had a
think they're
cool
looking at
little...
0-16.
What was it? I think it was the worst franchises in history. Before the Browns, obviously, go 0-16 this year. You got the Detroit Lions of 08.
Yep.
There was the 2011-2012 Charlotte Hornets, who won 7 games, I think. And then there was the 2011 Detroit Tigers, who went 42-116. There was one other team that had a worse record, but it was a first-year franchise with the New York Mets, so they had the excuse. Detroit Tigers have been along for over 100 years. There's no excuse to go 42-116, I think it was. NBA, NFL, yeah, those were the 3 leagues they covered that I read. So it was kind of funny. The newborn Charlotte Bobcats with 7 wins, and you go down in infamy. I mean, tied with Detroit Lions now. Matthew Stafford.
Yeah. They got one more chance. They could pull it off.
They have 2 top 5 draft picks this year.
Matthew Stafford's Lions didn't go 0-16.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that was not Matthew Stafford.
Who was
I think that was probably Joey Joey. Can't remember his last name. Starts with a G. It's not Galloway. It's not the receiver. But I can't remember what his last name was. He was bad. It might actually.
Joey Harrington.
Harrington. It's not a G. Harrington. That's what it is. I think that's his Lions that were that bad.
There were a bunch of bad Lions quarterbacks
Yes.
for a stretch. Could have been any one of them. Just one of those things, like how can you just not pull off, like even by freak out, like just have like one really great game.
They almost did.
Yeah.
The Packers in overtime. They almost did.
They were winning that game too.
So the final roster, John Kitna was on the IR.
Okay. So it wasn't Harrington.
And Dante
Kitna.
Culpepper, Drew Henson, Dan Orlovsky, and Drew Stanton were the quarterbacks.
That was probably Dante after his prime.
Yes. Definitely after.
Wasn't
Dante
Culpepper
was a
only
90s
good with the Vikings?
Yeah. He was late 90s, early 2000s was Culpepper.
Yeah, because with that bad season, they picked Matt Stafford.
Right, and that changed their franchise. That's why I was saying the Browns, this draft class, if they can't do it, then they're the worst drafters in history.
But they've had a lot of top picks. Not like
But
number one, maybe.
they've all been
I
bad.
know. That's what I'm saying. Or they end up trading them away, and
But this is like one of the few years I'm saying we're all the experts, because I'm not, as far as analyzing college football talent.
Mm-hmm.
All the experts are saying there's like 4 or 5 quarterbacks this year that are like can't miss. So if there's 4 or 5 of them that are can't miss, and you can't land one.
It's bad when you have a Wikipedia page.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this out right now that there's not 4 or 5 quarterbacks in college that can go and turn around this Browns franchise and start winning games for them.
They had 3 first-round picks last year.
Yeah, and they decided on Deshaun Kaiser. Imagine if they had Deshaun Watson. I guarantee you he doesn't maybe turn the franchise around, but he wins a game.
Obviously, the most notable quarterback they've taken recently was Johnny Manziel in 2014.
Right? Brady Quinn, bust. Johnny Manziel, bust.
Brandon
Tim Couch, if we're going to go
Weeden
way back, bust.
from Oklahoma State.
Brandon Weeden,
Brandon Weeden, bust.
the 30-year-old quarterback getting drafted.
Colt McCoy, bust.
Tim Couch was their first pick when they came back.
Yeah, they had a chance at Peyton Manning, and they took Tim Couch. That was solid pick.
Seemed to work out.
Solid.
That's what I mean. That's why this year is big year, because there's supposedly a bunch of them that maybe not right away turn a franchise around, but can win some games.
So which one do they go with, Baker?
I go with Mayfield.
He likes Mayfield. I personally am. He's my last one.
It's your last one?
Yeah, I think he's got Manziel written all over him. Bust all over him.
You think a kid that walked on in Texas A&M got the starting job as a freshman, and then a walk-on at Oklahoma got the starting job at Oklahoma, you think You think he's just going to be a bust like Johnny? Like
Yeah.
Johnny, at least. I mean, the one thing you've got to say is that they have in common is they come from families with money, because obviously you can't walk onto some of these schools unless you have some kind of money.
Yeah, because I go by he's undersized, he's got small hands, he's not particularly fast. All these things in the NFL, in college it doesn't matter, but in the NFL it matters.
So who's yours?
The
Josh
only undersized quarterbacks under 6 foot or 6 foot that have been successful are Jeff Garcia, Drew Brees, and Russell Wilson. Do I think Baker Mayfield is as
Doug
good as
Flutie?
any of those?
Doug Flutie was
Successful.
He was successful. When he got to play, he didn't get to play.
Successful.
He didn't get to play.
There's only 3 of them.
Doug
And out of the
Flutie.
3 of them,
Doug
2 of them won a Super Bowl.
Doug Flutie won some. Didn't he win
He
Canadian?
didn't win the Super Bowl.
Did he win the championship of the Canadian Football League?
I don't care about Doug Flutie. He's a nobody in the NFL.
Through the Hail Mary. That's successful.
In college?
Yeah. That's
Again-
successful.
Yeah, again, Mayfield's successful in college. It's not going to translate. Give me the big guy that's a project. I'd rather have Josh Allen.
This is much smoother, much easier to drink.
And I think Rosen will be the best of the 5.
Anyways, which game are we on?
Let's do Chargers and Jets, since Corey liked to skip that one.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't much to talk about
It's
other than
playoffs. Chargers still.
yeah, Chargers are still in the hunt with.
And it was our big victory.
I think if Baltimore loses and the Bills lose, so if those 2 teams lose, Chargers are in, and the Chargers have to win, obviously, because Chargers beat the Bills by 30, and that was the awesome game where they had the backup quarterback.
Yeah, it's gonna come back and bite them in the ass.
So we'll see what happens with the Chargers this week. I believe they have. Who do they have? We'll find out in our picks.
Raiders.
Raiders. Spoiler makers themselves. Rams Titans 27-23. This was a back and forth game.
By the 49ers. I knew the 49ers.
That game was actually pretty fun. The Rams had to march down late and get the win. Todd Gurley was a beast again. I think he had like 3 touchdowns, 2 receiving, 1 rushing. Had over 100 receiving yards.
Dolphins Chiefs. Chiefs blew away the Dolphins 29-13.
Chiefs look back to their old ways.
Clinching the playoff berth for themselves.
Whatever mid-season issues they had, they seem to have turned around.
I think we've... Oh, and then the Bills lose to the Patriots 37-16. Bills actually had this one close up until late in the second half, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just kind of let it slip away, unfortunately for them.
The refs took it out of their hands.
Kevin, did you see the play? Was it a catch
Yeah.
or not a catch?
It was not a catch.
Not a catch.
That's what the
Not a
ref said.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
What do you think? Was it a catch or not a catch?
I'd have to see it again because I didn't really pay attention too much. I just knew I know what you're talking about.
It was a catch.
If you look at the DeAndre Hopkins catch, he gets both feet out after he secures it. You look at the Calvin Benjamin catch, he secures it, and the other foot was already coming up. It's not a catch. It's not a catch. Y'all can hate and think of these conspiracy
The
theories.
Hopkins catch was just phenomenal, and he made it very clear what it was.
Yeah.
So with
The
that,
Calvin Benjamin's more iffy.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's a catch. Calvin Benjamin did not do that. That's why it was not a catch.
all right. So with that, we've covered all 3 AFC wildcard hopefuls. Who do you guys think's gonna make it? Coming from our Facebook page. Sorry. Question from our Facebook page.
So Ravens are playing the Bengals. Bills have the Dolphins at the Dolphins.
And
Chargers
got the Raiders.
have the Raiders. Titans, are they clinched? They aren't clinched, are they? Because they could still miss out, right? I think they could still miss out.
Let's play the playoff machine game.
That's why I thought it was big that the Jaguars lost. I know Tom Brady was happy.
All right,
It
so
did
what's our
something.
scenario here?
The Titans losing and everyone winning. I don't know.
Sorry, Alexa just automatically activated over there. All right, so let's just say Bills win, Bengals win, Raiders win, and who is our Titans?
I don't know who's playing.
So if the Bengals,
Jaguars.
Bills, Titans, and Raiders win, the Buffalo Bills and Titans make it. Now, if every team
That was with the Jaguars losing? Or with the Titans losing?
Winning.
No, Titans winning. So if
same.
each team wins their game, it's the Titans as a 6 seed and Baltimore as a 5 seed.
Yeah.
Let's play Matchmaker. In order for the Chargers to make it as a 6 seed,
They need the Ravens to lose.
Jags lose, Dolphins win, so Bills lose, and it doesn't matter with the Ravens. So they need Jags and Dolphins to win.
If the Ravens... Actually, I don't know.
I'm messing with the playoff thing right now.
I don't know.
And the Bills, if they lose, let's see.
The Bills lose, they're out. They can't get
Yeah,
I think the only team that's gonna lose is the Titans, so I think that'll be interesting.
Chargers.
You think everyone else is going to win? Think Bills are going to win?
Yeah, I think the Bills, the Ravens, and the Chargers are all gonna win.
So you think the Bills, Ravens, and Chargers win?
Yeah.
If
the
that
Titans
plays
lose.
out, then it's the Chargers and the Ravens, and
Yeah, and that's what I think should be, honestly.
because I mean the Titans, if they win, obviously they're in. The Bills need a lot to happen to
If
make
the Bills get in, they're out first round. That's just a waste of a playoff.
Are they out?
No, if they get in,
He's saying
if they
that
get
they'll
in, they're
lose
gonna
first.
lose. no
Yeah,
matter
but
who-
are they out? I mean, they could either play Kansas City, which has been hit or miss this year.
They already beat them this year.
Kansas City's hot right now.
That's true.
Do they stay hot?
Yeah.
I mean, did you know when they were going to flip the switch off? And all of a sudden become trash?
No, the Bills aren't gonna stop them. The
And do you
Bills,
think
you
Doug?
act like just because the team's hot, like they can't have a bad game.
the Bills aren't gonna stop the Chiefs. The Bills aren't gonna stop any team that's in.
Alright.
Can they beat the Patriots? No. Can they
No,
beat the Steelers?
we know they can't beat the
No.
Patriots. No, you're picking the top two teams. Yeah,
Okay. Can they beat the Chiefs? No. Can they beat the Jags? No. Can they beat the Ravens? No. Can they beat the Chargers? No. I don't think they beat any of those teams.
I think they could beat the Chiefs, Chargers, or the Ravens. Not saying that I would pick them
We
to
see
beat
it-
them, but I'm
we
saying
just
that
see
I
it
think they have a
differently.
possibility that they could win.
I just think it'd be, if we like that ESPN matchmaker, I think it'd be 60-40 or above for odds against all those teams.
You know, I'd kind of be interested to see if.
How often does the odds you act
Yeah.
like that's end all be all?
I'm just saying they'd be big underdogs.
Look at our NCAA
I'm not
football
saying that they
bowl
wouldn't
picks.
be an underdog. I'm saying that they have a chance.
Well,
You're
if you
just
step-
writing them
If
off.
you step on the field, you have a chance, but I
Okay.
don't think they're going to win. I don't think they win any of those.
They're not getting the playoffs, so this argument's just
Right.
Moot.
I don't think so either. I said Chargers Ravens.
So let's just move on.
All right.
I don't even know. We'll get into this if they actually make the playoffs.
Next week.
Yeah.
Where are we at? Oh.
Thing I want to talk about is, can we talk about Jimmy Garoppolo? Just
Real quick.
Hey, what the fuck?
can the guy lose? Does he know how to?
He's got that Tom Bradyism.
Like, you take over a team that was just doing nothing all year, and now all of a sudden they're this
Weren't they 0-12 when he got traded to them?
no, maybe when he got, I don't
No, they
know.
had
They
a
won
win.
one.
They had a win
early on.
without him.
All right.
One thing I was surprised is I thought with him in the big passing game, like Carlos Hyde would just ball out. He's been non-existent. with Garoppolo there.
He's been throwing
non-existent.
like 40, 50 passes a game. That's why.
Well, I mean, even like his rushes, I don't know what they're doing unless they aren't disguising their run plays very well. But all of a sudden, he's rushing worse. So you would think that would open up.
Yeah.
He was rushing way better when the focus was him.
Right.
Are
He's
we
just
at
plummeted.
free hide yet?
Yeah.
Still?
I'm still on free hide because I thought this would change it, and I was back on. No, he could stay. He can
I
stay.
can't wait till you draft him again. Next
Now it's
year.
free hide. I didn't draft him this
No.
year. I didn't make that mistake.
You made enough other mistakes to cost yourself a championship.
I can't help when Yahoo rigs it.
Yeah,
Who didn't rig shit?
yeah. Stefan rigged it. So
Oh, here we go. Conspiracy theories. Already.
Falcons losing to the Saints 23-13. That kind of was an unentertaining game for most of it.
Not entertaining, but had big implications.
Mm-hmm. The Saints pretty much,
Saints are just running the ball down people's throats.
yeah.
You can stop Kamara and Ingram, then you will win. If you can't, you're in for a long game. Because I think it's safe to say, I know you said you think you see a little drop in Brady maybe. All year I think I've seen a drop in Brace. I don't think he's the same anymore.
He's had a pretty good year. Did he throw for 5,000 again? I feel like he just does it every year.
I don't think I would be shocked if he did because of how much rushing they're doing this year.
Yeah, but a lot of that is also screenplays.
To
Not,
Kamara.
but like, yeah.
Drew Brees 4,089 yards.
He's not great.
No, he's not good.
He's actually fifth in the league right now, behind Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers, and Matthew Stafford.
Better than I thought he was doing. How many touchdowns does he have? Well, you have it right there.
I don't have it right there. Hold on.
Does he even have 30?
Touchdown.
I mean, I know that he doesn't put up his same numbers that he has in the past.
22. 8
But
He's not getting
interceptions, though.
30.
But can we maybe
71% completion rating.
the reason that he's not having to do that is maybe with them not playing from behind as much
In the
because
first
their defense is actually legit this year.
in the first year, they have this kind of rushing attack
And
I've ever seen.
and they're actually running the ball a lot more. So I don't know if it's so much that he's declining. I just think they're relying less on him.
His completion percentage is ridiculous, 70%. I didn't know that was that high either. Not that I'm rescinding my comments.
Sorry, but I
Broncos
I think
losing
Brees has
to
more years than
Redskins in a nothing game.
from this point.
Giants losing to the Cardinals in a 23-0 loss. Do the Giants start their rookie quarterback yet, or are we just going to rely on Old Faithful?
They're just going to draft Josh Rosen.
They're trying to start a new streak with Eli. Got to get him back up.
Rosen will be a
Seahawks
Giant.
beat the Cowboys 21-12, keeping their playoff hopes alive and crushing the Cowboys fans.
National Cowboys Elimination Day.
Basically, the Seahawks are the only team that can
Yep.
really make the playoffs right now.
They need the
outside of
Falcons to
looking in.
lose, and they have to win. That's the only way they get in.
It's a lonely
But the
world
Falcons
looking
play
on the
somebody
outside.
good, right?
I think it's because of the Falcons beating them
Had
on
to-
Monday night, right?
Who's the Falcons playing?
It's right here.
Falcons are playing Tampa
You're on the right one. Panthers.
Panthers.
or Panthers, yeah, one of the two.
So that's interesting.
And the
Eh.
Seahawks have Cardinals.
Then in early
Yeah,
Monday
Cardinals.
night, Steelers whooped on the Texans 34-6.
Yeah.
Steelers cut what's his face
James Harrison.
and is picked up by the Patriots today. So that'll be
Did he
interesting.
actually sign with them? I
Yeah,
know they
he
were
signed.
talking to him. Did he?
Yeah, they posted a picture of him and Tom Brady together, so
I think the highlight of that game was that catch. DeAndre Hopkins catch.
Yeah.
It's one of the best. Well, people are saying it's the best catch of the year.
And I think that the Steelers kind of showed that not that the Texans are anything great, but they could do it without Antonio Brown. I mean, Martavis Bryant had a decent game. Smith-Schuster.
Had a really good game in the second half. He turned it on, changed things. Even a lot of people don't talk about the young Sung guy. Eli Rogers is a good third receiver. He had really good return yardage. He's a good slot receiver. So yeah, I don't think they need Antonio Brown.
And when all else fails, just go to Bell.
Yeah, you probably have the best running back in football. I know people are going to argue Gurley or Zeke, but
What did Zeke? Did anybody even look up his stat? What he did this week?
88 yards.
That's no touchdown, obviously.
No.
Oh, we are fading fast here.
Fading. You're fading?
And by fading, I mean my producing skills. Let's look at our picks from last week. I went 4-1. Hey. Better late than never, I guess, right?
What's the score even at?
No one's updated the standings, so we're not 100% sure where we are at.
Oh, you didn't update the 45 and 25, 41, 29?
No. That hasn't been updated for like 2 weeks.
Oh. So maybe I don't have a chance.
I only beat you by 1, and then
we're even.
Yeah. So you still have what? How many were you down?
4 down. That's why I mean I have to go 5-0, and you have to go 1-5. That's why I just picked
Your
opposite.
team messed us all up, Corey, this week. And then Stefan picked the Falcons and Cowboys. So did you pick the Cowboys? So we're getting kind of ground this past week. This week, Bengals versus Ravens. We're all going Bengals except Stefan. So Corey and I. And then Corey apparently switched his to the Bucks to try and get, obviously. And then the Bills is Corey's favorite. Panthers is Corey's favorite, obviously. His second favorite team. And then Corey picking the Eagles. The only one who has faith with the Eagles. Even Stefan.
I just think it's a meaningless game. I don't.
Stefan, did you want to lock that in right now, or did you?
Lock what in?
Lock your pick in? Did you want to change it to the Eagles?
No, I don't. I think it's a meaningless game for that. I mean, it's just one of those games that doesn't matter. And Eagles probably aren't going to show up for it. They might even just bench everybody. I don't know.
All right, let's try and get Joe on the phone. See if this works out.
How'd my picks work out today? Yeah, like that. Anybody update?
Hello, Joe. Do you guys hear him?
Nope.
I can hear you.
Okay.
How's it going, Joe? How was your holiday? Not too bad. Let me work on some things here. Trying to do this inebriated. It's not really working out. Can you hear him, guys?
If he's talking. No.
No? Alright, cool. Let's just do this anyway. Joe, you're coming on strong in the bowl season. Only gotten 2 weeks. How's Duke doing right now?
They're going to win. There's only 6 minutes left, and they're up 22.
Alright, so you're going to continue your streak as with the curse of Kevin continuing. Stefan, you've succumbed.
Yeah, I need to make some switches here.
Stefan's making some last second switches.
It was all fun and games in the beginning when I said I don't give a shit about those games. I was going to start winning. You're like, okay.
I'm still not worried about you. So I'll get the games that matter, right? You'll fuck them up.
All right, Joe. Trying to get the games in line. How do you feel about Iowa versus Boston College? We're all going Iowa. Boston College. Strong defense winners.
Is he just trying to gain on me?
That too, probably. Arizona versus Purdue.
Is there a gold line this week?
No, we're all going Arizona. There's no gold line. We're going all the way to the end, Corey.
Okay.
Let me try and play with Joe's audio, actually. I think that might be the issue. Oh, well, now I can't hear Joe, so.
Now nobody can hear him.
Uh-oh.
Jesus.
All right, now I can hear him again. All right, Joe, do I got you?
You got me. You got me. I got you. You got me.
Yeah, I got
We
you.
can hear him.
Hey, we did it. All right. Who said you can't
I can't
produce
hear
a
Corey
show,
now,
Joe?
though.
What?
I'm here.
Ah, god damn it.
Oh, we lost him again?
No. Joe, who you picking, Texas or Missouri? Missouri.
Who is it?
Texas or Missouri?
Texas.
All right, that's another clean sweep for us. What is going on here?
Texas Tech. What's this guy doing?
Virginia or Navy? What am I doing?
Virginia.
I am drinking a lot of alcohol on air right now because of this goddamn Jets.
You need me to punch these in?
Virginia.
That will
I
work
can.
for me. All right. So Corey's taking Navy, so is Stefan. So sorry, Joe, you're probably gonna lose that one. Virginia Tech versus Oklahoma State. We're all going Oklahoma State. So smart bet would it be?
Going Va Tech.
And he takes Virginia Tech. Stanford versus TCU. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised by Stefan's pick of Stanford. Corey's also taking Stanford.
And as much as I think Stanford could win or may win, and I would probably want them to win, I also still want to overcome and take the lead. So I think that could be a win for TCU.
I want to remind you, Joe, that you are only like 4 behind Corey right now. So
I know. I checked it. That's why I'm going different. I'm going TCU.
okay. Washington State, Michigan State, the battle of the states.
I think it's going to be Michigan State.
Michigan State. Corey and I. Sorry, Corey, you're gonna lose that one. Are taking Washington State. Stefan, you're gonna win that one.
Yay.
Do I get like a bonus point for just being wrong all the time?
You should.
Should.
Are those other guys there? Because I can't hear them at all.
You can't hear them?
I shouldn't have
Can
You're
you
not
hear
really
us now?
talking. No. Okay. Well, they can hear you. So,
that's
Wake Forest versus Texas A&M.
Let's go with the Demon Deep.
Demon Deeks.
Deacons.
Oh.
Wake Forest.
I didn't know what he said.
Sorry, I had to quiz Stefan there. Apparently.
I didn't know what he said.
All I heard was demon. I couldn't make it off of that, Stefan. Come on, jeez. NC State, Arizona State, Sun Devils. Are you with us, Joe?
The Wolfpack.
How dare you?
You got to remember, the ACC fared very well in bowl games the last 2 seasons.
NC, not NS.
I got it.
Kentucky versus Northwestern.
The Wildcats from Kentucky
Oh.
beat off the basketball program's winning ways and win this bowl game.
And then Utah State versus New Mexico State.
Those can go downhill quick.
Hey, New Mexico State.
New Mexico
Trying to
State.
think of something smart with their mascot, but I forgot what it was.
The Lobos.
Oh, that Packer. The Lobos. The Rebecca Lobos.
No, I think you guys are thinking of New Mexico.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I have an excuse. What's yours, Joe?
This isn't the basketball team that just beat Miami that apparently
What? I
didn't
didn't hear
matter.
The comments, so I would know how to respond.
USC, Ohio State. You leave my basketball alone, Stefan.
Oh, we'll get
the
to
basketball poll. Was I doing it again still?
No, I didn't realize Miami lost when I made it, so whatever.
Oh, yeah, I can't, but that one was huge.
Yeah. You win some, you lose some.
Oh,
Sometimes when
that's
you
right.
lose, you move up in the rankings.
This is a big
Ohio
game.
State, USC.
He
Just
hates
because I hate the Buckeyes. USC.
USC, all right.
Did I just call it or did I not?
Yeah.
Literally said it right before.
Louisville versus Mississippi State.
Mark Jackson's going to go out in style. 350 yards passing, 150 yards rushing, and a bowl victory. Then declaring for the draft.
And a number 1 draft pick to the Cleveland Browns.
No, they'll mess that up. They're not going to pick them.
All right, cool. Iowa State versus Memphis.
Probably Iowa State.
Probably Iowa State. You didn't seem very convinced there.
I think, I don't know. I'm going with the Power 5 in that one.
All right. Washington versus Penn State.
Go Huskies.
Go Huskies. Miami versus Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, they control the ball. They don't turn it over, and the gold chain will not be worn much that game, if at all. Wisconsin wins.
This is in their stadium, by the way. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there.
And who's it? In Miami? In Miami?
Yeah. It's the Orange
Probably
Bowl.
not Wisconsin. It's a little too cold. Yeah.
Speak now or forever hold your peace, Joe.
That'll be Wisconsin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we have the Outback Bowl, Michigan versus South Carolina.
Go Michigan.
Go
Oh,
Blue.
actually, rewind. South Carolina.
Ooh, South Carolina. Ooh. In Harbaugh, we don't trust, apparently.
What? This team's not going to play for him. There's rumors he's going back to the league, going to coach the Giants. So, no.
Chick-fil-A, Peach Bowl, UCF, Auburn. Is, what's his face, Scott Frost coaching?
I don't. That'd be a great question and one to know. So with that, and thanks for reminding me of that, because I was going to tend to go with, I'd love to see UCF pull a win and prove that they deserve to be talked about for the playoffs. But Auburn, no, I'm not sure Scott Frost is coaching.
I'm going to check that.
You can check that while we chat. Sure.
All right. And then Citrus Bowl, Notre Dame versus LSU.
Nope. Ooh, that's going to be a great game, I think. Good football right there. Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. Apparently, Scott Frost has announced his assistance for Nebraska. And it looks like he will be coaching UCF in the Peach Bowl.
Hold on, Gus. Go Golden Knights.
Golden Knights. Georgia versus Oklahoma.
Bulldogs.
Georgia. For you, not Georgia State, Georgia. Come on, Stefan. Jeez. Alabama versus Clemson. The game we're going to be streaming while doing the podcast at the same time. I think he can hear you guys too now. So
You can hear us?
I still can't hear him.
no, all right, cool.
It's a great podcast we have.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to join us on Google Hangouts next week, Joe, so you can watch the game with us live.
We should change it we might know something about podcasts.
Hey. How dare you?
So, the game of the evening, New Year's Day, Alabama Clemson, rematch of last year's national championship game. You guys know how I feel about Alabama.
That's why it's already filled up as Alabama.
But I don't think they pull it off.
Oh!
I think they're a little decimated still on defense. I still think they got some manpower, but
Steffen's in the minority.
Details and Clemson is a ball club. I mean, man, I don't know.
All right, Joe, before I let you go, since I'm not too great at podcasting and you can't hear them, and before I lose my complete focus here, what bowl game, other than the playoffs, obviously, are you looking forward to watching this week?
Ohio State.
I would say any of the New Year's games leading up to the playoff games. I think that Miami-Wisconsin is going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to watching UCF play Auburn and really show, college football that there should be no exclusion just because they're not a Power 5. I mean, you go undefeated, you have, a top offense, athletes. That game will be definitely intriguing. Ohio State USC could be a good matchup. So yeah, those are 2-3 of the games I'm looking forward to.
I think Ohio State USC is Friday night, so that'll be a fun Friday night game.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think Southern Miss Florida State could be a doozy tomorrow too. Nah, just kidding.
So you're saying Georgia versus Clemson as your national championship game?
You didn't let me process the Alabama Clemson game, so I'm going to go out. No, I'm going out on a limb. Saban knows how to coach. He's going to have the players ready. He's had a month to prepare. Bama pulls it off. Bama, Georgia. National title game.
All right. Well, Joe, if you have the time next week, we'd love to have you on our Google Hangouts. That way you can hear Stefan and Corey as well.
I would love to join you guys in a live streaming capacity for that ball game. Wow, kickoff is 8:45.
What?
Yeah, they had it right up on ESPN right now. Kickoff is 8:45.
I thought that was the first game.
Oklahoma, Georgia is the first game.
Are you sure?
I just saw it on ESPN. I'm watching Duke Northern Illinois right now.
I am looking it up. I'm fact checking your ass right now.
The Georgia Oklahoma game is the Rose Bowl, and the Rose Bowl is always the first game.
No, it's not.
Always. Because it's the Rose Bowl. Rose Bowl is always
Rose Bowl is the first game.
God damn it. When did that happen?
Podcast.
All right, so we're broadcasting during the Georgia-Oklahoma game. Maybe continuating into the Alabama-Clemson. Who knows? Whatever happens. Right now, the line is Alabama by 3 and Georgia by 1.5, so that'll be interesting to see. We will be podcasting before the national championship on January 8th, so we'll be able to have our picks in before the game there. But we would still love to have you in and join Google Hangouts. We haven't had you on video-wise since what? April?
The draft. Yeah, the draft.
Yeah. So go back to the OG style.
Maybe have to get to my probably not. It'll probably still be in shambles and break up in some way, but maybe I can find a way to get my my little cave set up for that.
Well, you just let me know, Joe, and we'll work on that. That way you can actually communicate with 3 of us. and not just
That'd
me.
be fun. Yeah.
Especially
I would
for
love to
the
hear.
Oklahoma Georgia game. I think that's going to be the better of the two, in my opinion. But that's just
I
me.
think you might see more offense, more explosive plays in that game for sure. I think Alabama is definitely going to try to control the game with the running game and maybe take shots. But I do agree that it's going to be the Georgia Oklahoma game does have the manpower, the power to be one of those up and down 35, 33, 42, 38 type of games. For sure. For sure.
All right, Joe. Well, we look forward to having you on next week. Fingers
Be good,
crossed.
guys. Enjoy your week. For those of you stuck here in Central New York, stay warm.
Happy New Year, Joe.
Happy New Year, guys.
Bye. All right. So we got our picks in from Joe. So we got complete breakdown there. You know, you whisper, but the microphone still picks up.
I'm just waiting for you to get to the basketball poll now.
All right. Corey, Stefan. I'm entirely intoxicated off of these two beers.
That was the goal.
Yeah, so it worked. How are you guys feeling about these bowl games? What games are you guys looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to USC Ohio State. I'm a Buckeyes fan, so that's part of it. But part of it is seeing Sam Darnold in a bowl game and what he can do against a good team. And also JT Barrett.
Stefan?
I want to see if UCF is the real deal or if they were just a benefactor of a weaker schedule. So I think I'm intrigued, but obviously it could turn out ugly where Auburn just blows them out. But we'll see. And Stanford versus no.
Decent team though. They picked against
TCU. Yeah. Well, I've liked TCU all year, so
in both sports for whatever reason.
Everybody likes TCU in basketball.
Not me.
Yeah, I know.
So not everyone.
All right.
Corey's hard to win over in college basketball, so let's move to college basketball. What happened this past week in college basketball? Miami losing in a Hawaii tournament.
That's somebody to pay attention to.
Hey, holidays are important around here.
Well, you can just switch the order. Put Miami somewhere and bump the rest up.
I thought about doing that last minute since I have the power to do that, but I didn't. I kept it the same. My mistake, and not to mention it didn't really hurt them too bad. They dropped to 10th?
Mm-hmm. Should have dropped more.
On the national poll, they dropped to 10th?
To our poll.
Or 12th, excuse me. 12th in our poll.
They should have dropped more.
What, to like 14th?
Where are they national?
Well, I don't know where you would drop them. I don't know how far you would drop them, Kevin. You obviously think that
I would drop them past.
You think it's a quality loss because you gave them, you bumped them up in the rankings. So clearly, very.
I may have been intoxicated when I did this poll as well.
Very
so who
big
knows?
lot. I mean, it's,
I've got a lot of alcohol to get rid of
New
before
Mexico
January
State, to their
1st.
credit, is like 11-3, so they probably
did drop Miami heavy.
They probably haven't played anybody at all.
15th.
So I would have dropped them to 12th or 13th.
So yeah, they would have dropped more than 2 spots in the national poll.
Everyone else has got them where?
I have them 9th. Everyone else has them much lower.
Yeah.
I've got them 16th.
So I'm not the only one high on my.
Gary 17th. Sean 11th. Corey's the only one that hasn't let TCU get into the teens.
No.
Everyone else has them like in their top 10. Corey.
Hey, I dropped Syracuse from my top 25. I don't know what else you want from me.
You want me to get into what else I want from you?
Sure, why not?
All right, let's get into it.
This might be interesting.
He has Creighton in.
Huh?
So he He adds Creighton into his top 20.
I have Creighton above Gonzaga, who Gonzaga beat. Yes, I know.
by 20. So apparently a loss to San Diego State by 2 at San Diego State is so bad that a 20-point win over Creighton still puts them behind Creighton.
And Arkansas sneaks in.
Yeah, who hasn't been on his list all year either, but apparently now all of a sudden they're this great team
I had to find someone.
that jumps over Gonzaga.
Because right now, Gonzaga's 7th seed. We've gone over this last week. This is where I feel they are in the tournament polls. Who has Gonzaga beaten other than Creighton?
Texas.
Yeah, Texas. That's their other win.
Is Texas in my top 25?
No.
Okay.
All right, then.
I don't know if they're in any of ours.
No, they're not right now. They're on the outside looking in. Nobody really lost.
By the way, before we get into any more, Villanova is our new number 1 since someone didn't vote. So that's the only reason why we have a new number 1 team in Villanova.
No, we don't have the correct number 1 team.
I think it's the more correct team than Michigan State, who's lost.
With us quite overwhelmingly.
And after this week, everyone's going to agree with me.
No.
Yes.
What's that?
After they lose to Arizona? Okay.
No, they're going to win.
They're going to lose to Arizona.
How do we do in the pick'ems?
I'm just waiting for Oklahoma to win a couple more Big 12 games, so I can bump up number 1. So
Hey, I actually gave Oklahoma. I gave Oklahoma props this year.
This week.
This week. Well, it's the last week, so it's this year. Hey. This much left.
So Corey did a really bad job this week.
All right. Other than my,
talk about your mindset going into any of these.
Other than my
it's not like
Miami.
I'm the only one to have a 3-5 week.
Just saying.
You know, I think we should do the show drunk
My
every
mindset
week.
was Gonzaga should beat San Diego State, even if it was in San Diego State. Georgia Tech, Georgia, to me, was 50-50. I like Georgia Tech's coach. That's the only reason I went that way. I thought he did a good job on Memphis. Stephen F. Austin, I know, was this 90% underdog, but they only lost by 1. It's not like it was crazy.
Coming from the guy who lives and dies by the percentages here.
I just want the record to show my glass is empty.
About time.
So they only lost by 1 point.
How dare you?
Not a big deal. Alabama's the shocker. I didn't know they were going to.
Breaking news from Joe: Josh Rosen not playing in the Cactus Bowl tonight.
Yeah, because he's going to go to the Giants. Alabama. I was surprised. Dayton, I was fairly confident. And then Cal, Portland State. Cal was a bad pick. Portland State had been playing decent against good opposition, and Cal has been playing this poor.
All right,
That's the only one I feel was really bad pick. The other ones were possibilities.
All right, this being proposed. Hold on.
Let's hear it.
Game should be tossed, or Corey and I get a chance to choose K-State if we want. So, Corey, I'm fine with it. If you guys want to change your pick, go ahead.
The what?
Your pick tonight. Don't make me think right now. Come on, guys.
I don't know what we're talking
about. Who does Josh Rosen play for?
UCLA.
UCLA and Kansas State are playing?
Yeah.
Oh, and he's not playing for UCLA.
Yeah.
Well, he's saying that they should be able, that you guys should be able to change your pick if you want to.
Oh.
You want to change your pick?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to change it to Kansas State?
Everybody wants Kansas State.
Where is that?
Cactus Bowl.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so glad I'm getting Red Robin for dinner.
Are you doing Kansas State too?
Andrew.
Hold on. I'm texting him right now.
Oh.
Go back to college basketball. Sorry. I have no sense of what's going on right now. So
When does that game start?
soon. I'm just going to keep it on the three of us to be safe. Not show the people watching anything. Suckers.
Okay.
I'm saying this out loud because I have no mute button anymore. Do you want me to do that blood orange vodka?
Well, if you're already drunk and feeling frisky, go for it.
Why not? When else am I going to drink it?
You said back to college basketball?
Yeah.
That game's in less than 13 minutes.
Okay.
Are you looking up?
And Joe said he'd stay with UCLA, so there's that. All right. Pick 'em for college basketball. I went 7-1 with Alabama losing to Texas. Corey continuing his losing streaks.
All right. On to the next. On this week's.
And
We got a lot of picks.
A lot of picks. Thanks to Stefan. You know, I appreciate you, Stefan. I just want you to know that.
We're going to this game.
Which one?
First one. Syracuse, Virginia Tech. We'll be there.
We will be there.
Not going live.
You're
We'll
not
let you know
going
how the
live?
experience was.
Yeah.
Back in the nosebleeds with the real fans.
Yeah.
That's more true.
And rowdy as fuck.
I'm the only one taking Cuse. We're all going UNT over Wake Forest. And Gonzaga over Pacific because I have no excuse to... If Pacific wins, Stefan, what does that mean for Gonzaga?
Pacific wins.
If they win, they're not going to win. So. It's Gonzaga. They don't lose. The only games they lose at home is to BYU or St. Mary's.
Or Loyola Marymount.
The one fluke year, okay. When they didn't have that great of a team.
Corey and I are going Xavier over Marquette with Stefan choosing Marquette. I don't even know who Marquette's head coach is.
Doesn't matter. Got a decent team.
They have good 3-point shooters. I
Why
almost
did
went
we?
that way.
Did you change your pick? I feel like you
I did.
changed your pick. Yeah. BYU over St. Mary's. I don't know why Stefan's picking St. Mary's. He's high on them for some reason.
I thought you guys would pick St. Mary's. So that's why I picked BYU, and then you guys all picked BYU. So I was like, oh. Well, no.
After the start of the season, the way St. Mary's started, you want us to pick that?
You could say that about a lot of teams.
Yeah, I am surprised you actually picked Washington over USC. What's your reasoning?
I haven't been high on USC all year. I've
Right,
said
I
that
knew
from
that.
the very beginning.
I thought you were going to pick Washington, Kevin, especially after they had the big upset this year.
Yeah, but after seeing them in person, I don't know. I'm just I'm cautious with Washington right now. If Washington makes the tournament, I'm still cautious. I like Mike Hopkins. I like what he's doing with the team. I give him 2 years, and then I will start being on the bandwagon.
This next game, I think, is a big game. Texas, if they win this, that launches them in the top 25.
Does this push Kansas out of the top 25, though?
Then maybe
Maybe.
it'll be a quality win for Gonzaga. Since it apparently isn't right now.
Yeah. It might push Kansas out. If not, they're 24-25, I think. If they lose this.
Kansas?
Yeah.
Oh, and then they'll be back in the following week because they play.
Oh, they'll get
the
back
Big
in. I'm just saying this loss could not.
You don't even know who else they're playing this week. Maybe they split this week. They go 1-1. Does that push them out because they lose to Texas at Texas?
It might.
Because you lose a road game? It depends. I mean, if they got blown out by Texas, yeah, maybe. Where are they at right now? They're not. It's not like they're like falling out of the top 25. They're 11.
They're 11. That's why I said it would be, I think, low 20s.
I wish
Like,
I
I
wasn't
can see if they
doing
lose to
January
Texas.
sober. Because
21,
this
22.
makes this podcast like 10 times more fun. You guys have to carry the weight for me then next week and the week after and the week after.
You're going Louisville over Kentucky, huh?
I'm going Louisville versus Kentucky. We've gone over Kentucky's resume a couple weeks ago. I'm just not impressed with Kentucky right now. I'm on the doubter bandwagon right now.
But you're impressed with Louisville.
Yeah. Why not?
Surprised they didn't jump in your top 25 too.
Maybe next week.
Why
You give them
the
chance.
Oklahoma State pick? Why Oklahoma State?
They've been playing good this year, and it's at home.
Over our number 6 team.
I'm not saying they're not, but it's at home. I give them a lot of times if I think it's like a toss-up and there's a game at home, or even if it's more favored towards one way.
I'm with it. We've talked about how hard home games, our road games are to win. That's why, well,
West Virginia
Kevin will have to explain his next pick.
West Virginia had that one really bad game.
There's a reason why they're my number 1 team.
Because they can go on the road and beat a good team?
They haven't really... They've beaten what? Kansas? Who else have they beaten?
St. John's. Arguably good team.
But he wants to talk about who Gonzaga's played.
St. John's is not good.
He wants to talk about... He pulls up St. John's as a quality win.
Don't make me go to the resume.
St. John's is not a quality win.
Okay.
I feel like my Mississippi State over SF Austin's looking better than the St. John's win.
Hold on. Let me pull it up. I think they beat Xavier. Yeah, they beat Xavier.
That's a quality win.
102 to 86. It wasn't even close. They beat Kansas in Kansas by 10.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know why you guys aren't high on Arizona State.
I got them at number 3. What do you mean I'm not high on them?
But you're not picking them to win this game.
Because I think Arizona has a more talented team. They have more NBA players on their team.
Does talent win you ball games, though?
It gives you a chance.
It does.
I'm not going into it saying Arizona State has no chance at winning.
I will say though, you're being a little hypocritical using that argument because that's the same argument you're using when I say TCU sucks because they have no NBA talent. And you're like, so what about a good team? If they're a good solid team, they beat teams with NBA talent. You're going opposite that right now.
I'm just arguing why Arizona can beat. Obviously, I don't know.
Well, no one knows.
All right, let's break this down. Other than the matchup predictor saying Arizona by 65.7%, Arizona State 91.8 points per game, Arizona 83. Both teams are allowing 71 points. Excuse me, and I mean. It's going to be a good game, that's for sure, and you should watch it on the Pac-12 Network, December 30th at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Arizona State's an outside shooting team, right?
They're both outside shooting teams, really. I mean,
well, that's what I was going to say. The difference is DeAndre Ayton can bang down low, and if Arizona State has no answer, dunks and layups are a lot easier to make than three-pointers all night, so that can be a problem.
This is definitely a good game to watch for the Pac-12 game of the week. I'm going to say it because, what else do they have right now?
USC Washington.
You can't even keep a straight face. All right. Anything else you guys want to mention before I move on?
No.
All right, then. I got to move that piece of paper so I can see what else I'm doing. I mentioned Joe was staying with his pick, right?
Oh, no, you don't.
I didn't change it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, what are we going to? Let's talk NBA, because I actually watched an NBA game. Mainly because I'm going to one on Thursday, so I had to watch them. And I must say, playing NBA 2K has helped me learn the teams. I'm more intrigued by the Sixers, so it was nice to watch the Sixers defeat the Knicks yesterday. Embiid, quite the impressive center to watch. I mean, any center that can make threes. I think he made 2 of them yesterday. I thought I was just in the video game whenever I passed to him. But apparently, it's everyday life. You guys got anything?
He's the real deal.
Just got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about his body may not allow him to play. He'll never play more than 72 games.
I don't think he'll ever reach his full potential.
Tickets are printed. I'll be there on Thursday.
You're going to see them play Portland?
Yeah, I think we're in the 6th row too.
Nice.
So that'll be
Dave
fun.
Dalla versus the Process.
We bought the tickets before they won on Monday, so I think the prices have shot up actually. So we lucked out on that one. There was that, and then the Cavs versus Golden State yesterday. That was a fun game to watch a little bit of.
Little controversy at the end.
Little controversy, and then Kevin Durant was a little controversial with his picks as well.
He just doesn't take anybody's shit anymore.
He's got an NBA championship.
His good guy.
Giving middle fingers to the world.
Yeah, his good guy image.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Is gone. He'll let Steph Curry do that.
Yeah, ever since he left.
Ever
Oklahoma
since
City,
his shoes came out.
Everybody bashed him for leaving. He just doesn't give a fuck anymore.
I don't blame him.
I don't either. Fuck them all.
Fuck him.
Win championship.
He has one.
Okay, he's gonna win more.
Maybe.
Oh my god, here we go.
Any other
Wizards? It was a good game, but Celtics were.
I don't know what happened to them. They looked like the best team in basketball, and now it's just not.
I think they've been having some injuries. Kyrie's missed some games. I think Jaylen Brown actually isn't playing tonight, so he might have got hurt last game.
Yeah, maybe they just lost that. They had like strong continuity. They're a solid team, and now it's gone.
But it's still promising for when Gordon Hayward comes back.
Yeah.
Apparently, Gordon Hayward went to the center court and wished everybody, all the fans, a Merry Christmas. So
have yourself a merry little Christmas.
And then the big game I thought was OKC upsetting Houston.
Yeah.
Not so much of an upset without CP3 there, but
yeah,
still a big win.
And then they'll go and lose to probably Lakers or something, or the Knicks or something.
Minnesota beat the Lakers handedly too. It's a late game.
You told me not to touch that game. I could have won on that.
Yeah.
I was going to take Minnesota.
You were?
Yeah, against the Lakers.
Minnesota.
30. I didn't know Ball didn't play. Not that makes a huge difference, but he didn't play.
Oh, that's your Christmas Day.
Yeah, Christmas Day recap.
And now kind of NBA takes focus now that NFL's going into the playoffs. College football's coming to an end.
Yeah, well, NBA takes focus after February.
Right.
After March.
Well, I kind of took
February is the All-Star game and the halfway point, and then after that it matters kind of.
I actually understood what I was watching when I was watching the Sixers-Knicks game. I think it's the first time I watched a full game since 2000 in the NBA Finals with Allen Iverson doing the step over.
Yeah.
So it was nice to actually understand what you guys watch. So hopefully more of that to come in the coming months, especially with year 2 of this podcast. Moving on to Premier League. I kind of like doing this buzz. That's actually kind of fun.
I think you're more than Buzz at this point.
Oh, how dare you. Premier League picks. None of us got anything right. So, stupid draws. Fucked us over. Hey. I picked Everton versus Man U for the new year. And I'm taking Man U 3-1. Ooh, I like this. On the fly.
Draw 1-1. Do 3 draws in a row.
Corey's taking Everton and in the upset 2-1. Why not?
One of us is going to get one right this week, so.
Yes. High five.
We got all the bases covered.
High fives all around. All right. And then UFC 219 is occurring this Saturday, December 30th in Las Vegas, Nevada at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Lots going on in this fight. I like this main card. It's going to be exciting to watch, especially Condit versus Magny as the first event in the main card. Let me pull that up so everyone can see it. Look at that. It's like I planned it or something.
You think that's a 50-50 fight?
I don't think it's a 50-50 fight, but it's definitely going to be entertaining.
You think it's strongly in the favor of Condit, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm definitely taking Condit. Probably. We'll go second round knockout.
That's my pick too.
Stefan's our
What about
MMA
this?
expert. Hold on. What's your pick, Stefan?
What was it? Condit versus who?
Magny.
Magny was a tough Ultimate Fighter guy. He had minor success there. He's actually had better success since.
Magny by decision.
And then Calvillo versus Esparza. I like Calvillo. She's a good young gun coming up in the ranks, undefeated. I definitely see her winning. I'm going to win decision, though, this time.
I'm going Esparza upset
Ooh.
by decision.
Sparza round 2.
Oof,
Oof.
crazy.
How?
Submission.
Extra crazy.
The next fight, no one really cares except for Lineker fans. Jimmy Rivera versus John Lineker. I'll take Rivera in decision, seeing how 71% of his fights have been that way.
Samesies.
Lineker knockout round 2.
Boom.
Boom! And then your boy Corey Nurmagomedov makes his return versus Edson Barboza. This is probably going to be more exciting than any of the fights I've watched so far this year, including John Jones versus Cormier, part 2. Who are you taking, Corey? I'll let you guys go first.
Nurmagomedov submission third.
Nurmagomedov knockout round 1.
I'm going with Stefan because I feel like he's determined.
You feel like he's coming out to make a statement?
Yeah, he's had what, 13 months off since his liver failure or whatever. Why not?
Well, hold up. Do we all think he can make weight? He never makes weight.
He's got a new nutritionist. I heard Daniel Cormier say high things about it. This nutrition guy he's going under. So as much as I hate Daniel Cormier, he's in the same camp. I'm going to trust his belief. I believe it.
All right. Main event?
Main
What do we got?
event. This is going to be epic if Holly Holm wins. Holly Holm has already taken out Ronda Rousey. Why not Cyborg? That's what I'm saying. She's winning by decision.
Holly Holm by decision.
Yep.
Cyborg knockout round 2.
I'm going with the crazy guy. I think Cyborg's going to finish it.
The thing is this is going to lament Holly Holm as arguably one of the greatest UFC fighters. If she beats Cyborg and Ronda Rousey in her prime,
and she almost beat Tate.
And
don't forget,
yeah.
At the end of that fight, she was coming on really strong.
I'm excited for this fight. You guys should be excited for this fight because Holly Holm, she doesn't play when she gets in these championship bouts. Talk about Durandamine, or I give the belt away because I don't want to fight Cyborg me. And I don't know. I'm excited for this fight. I think this is going to be the fight of the year. You've heard it here first. Duct tape and all.
I feel like you may just have a little bit of extra enthusiasm tonight.
Yeah, that too.
When you wake up tomorrow, you might regret it.
Yeah, you might be like, Jones Cormier might have been bigger.
Yeah, and then steroids happen.
Yeah.
But there's that. We have
Top 5?
we have the top.
I don't know if you guys have 5. I don't have 5.
I have 5.
All right.
Hold on, let me find the. Blast my ears out. Top 5.
I got 3.
Ooh, 3. Well, how about I go first then?
What?
So,
What you got?
let me.
I'm thinking of my other ones. I got 5. I can do 5 off top.
Number 5.
I'll do 5 too. Fuck it.
Fuck it. UNC versus Gonzaga. That was the best NCAA basketball championship since what?
The year before, probably.
Since the year before
probably.
when North Carolina lost to Villanova.
Yeah.
that was, in my opinion, the greatest.
But it was close, and it was back and forth, so I cannot deny the top 5 for that game. Number 4, mainly because I was at it, and it's the last time Tampa Bay won versus the Giants, is my number 4 game, Tampa versus the Giants. Oh, shit, I don't have 5. Never mind.
Well, you think I'll do my number 5.
Okay.
We'll go around.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. My number 5 is Game 5 of the NBA championships. Kevin Durant finally wins his title. Silences the haters. That was a big moment for him. So the game wasn't that close, really, but the moment was a big moment for the NBA, a big moment for him. So I went with that game, number 5.
My number 5 is going to surprise a lot of people. This is just a personal favorite kind of game, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The Snowmageddon Buffalo Bills game.
That was your
Happened not
favorite?
long ago.
Yeah.
It was number 5, I said.
Okay.
It was not my favorite.
Do you have a
I love watching games like that.
Yeah.
All right,
I
you
just
guys
think
can
they're
do
really
your
cool.
4 since I already skipped ahead.
I was
then.
going to say, do you have a 4 on deck or you want me to go?
All
right.
Go ahead.
Number 4 for me, it's not a game, it's a match, I guess, was when Terrence Crawford beat Ndongo and unified the 140 division, something that hadn't been done in 20 years, having a completely unified champ. That was a big moment for boxing. All the other boxers should take note. Challenge yourselves. Fight the best to be the best. That was my number 4.
My number 4 is actually Game 3 of the NBA Finals when Durant just stone cold iced it right in LeBron's face, put him up 3-0 in the series. That was when it was all over.
Yeah, that was over. Okay, number 3 to you, Kevin.
Atlanta versus New England. That's what I meant to say originally. So, I mean, seeing Atlanta lose, it was quite epic seeing how we're division rivals. So it was nice to see a division rival blow that big of a lead to now defending champion New England Patriots.
My number 3 is the college championship, Gonzaga, North Carolina. Obviously, if you look behind us, it meant a little more. I was excited for it, and it turned out to be a good game. So,
Well, my number 3 and number 2 are just the same two that you guys just said. So my number 3 is going to be the Patriots game, and then number 2 is Gonzaga. 'Cause it was probably the greatest moment of my life, and it would have been better if
Could have
they
been
actually
better.
won. But it was I was just happy to see them compete, and it didn't turn out to be a blowout or anything.
Go ahead, Kevin, with your number 2.
My number 2 is going to be basically because it's the last time Syracuse football won against Clemson. I mean, you take down the number 1 team. It was quite epic win for Syracuse, and it was quite epic for me to watch because I was working for the first half, and I came home and watched them seal the deal at home. So it was quite nice
Also, the only team to beat Clemson this year.
so far.
My number 2 game was actually Seattle versus Houston this year.
That was
Houston was able to battle Seattle into overtime and it kind of like put the stamp on Deshaun Watson as being the real deal.
Look
And he
forward
was
to
gonna
seeing him next year.
I think he was going to go do big things, and then unfortunately, he tore his ACL. But
MVP year?
Not MVP, but obviously, I think
Next
he was going to wrap up Rookie of the Year, get some accolades. He had crazy good stats, so just behind Wentz. It was Wentz and him. That game was fun to watch too. It was a shootout, so that was a really fun game. You have number one.
This number one game is probably just gonna send Corey over the edge. I'm going with the Mississippi State knocking off UConn in the Final Four. UConn won 100 and some games in a row. Finally lose.
I remember our debate back in March about the women's Final Four.
Yeah.
That doesn't send me over the edge. It just proved my point.
How does that prove your point?
The dude didn't win another one, which was good for me because it was going to start to look bad.
Go ahead. Who's next?
Corey.
Number one for me is the Super Bowl. I mean, that comeback was unbelievable. That was
pretty much cemented Brady's legacy.
Yeah, it cemented everything.
Not that he really needed much cementing anyways,
but that for me was number one. I don't even care about either of those teams, but I was excited with the game.
I almost thought that Super Bowl was like, I thought it was going to be like that Broncos, who was it, Broncos
in Seattle.
Yeah. Where it just turned into a blowout and it wasn't even like fun to watch. I think everybody kind of thought it was going to turn into that too, and then all of a sudden like Brady did Brady, and next thing you know, not like sexually Brady did. Well, he might have. Giselle Brady might have.
Brady on Brady.
Yeah. I don't think she goes by Giselle Brady though.
Giselle Bundchen.
Alrighty.
You really want to know my number one?
Yep.
Not really, but we're going to hear it anyway.
Actually, you do, because it's what started this podcast. Alabama versus Clemson had to be my number one. Started this fun show with you guys. Sentimental. Are you guys ready for our yearly award show next week?
I will be.
Yeah.
We got to come up with categories still, don't we?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, we will.
Got some work to do.
So we're not completely ready, but I had to pick the Clemson Alabama game.
I'm ready.
Definitely had to pick the Clemson Alabama game just because that's what started the show. It's what got this on the air every week for 50 weeks now. Going on 51 next week. I'm surprised you guys still show up every week, but I'm thankful for you guys. So
I try to get out of it, but
there's my belated Thanksgiving, I guess. I appreciate everything you guys do every week.
We appreciate your producing skills, even when they go off the track a little bit.
We definitely have talks about that.
You guys need to calm down.
We could not do the. We couldn't do it.
We couldn't do the show without you. You're the engine.
It's the engine that keeps going, even though I'm not exactly sure how, but I appreciate you guys. That's not just the alcohol speaking. I always wonder, I'm like, when are they going to quit? And you guys keep showing up every week. So, I mean, Happy New Year to everyone. We will be broadcasting apparently the Georgia-Oklahoma game. I swear it was the other way around.
They changed it on you.
Yeah. Goddamn.
They wanted to fuck up the podcast.
Goddamn Republicans.
Goddamn Jets.
Goddamn Jets.
These are socks.
All right,
this is
that's
a tattoo
not
shop.
what I wanted to broadcast right
What
now.
the fuck?
All right. On that note.
Hold on.
We get the outro music here.
I'm getting there. Little New Year's
See you all next year.
Peace.
Always cool. See you in 2018. Oh, we get words and everything in this song. See you next year, guys.
Yeah. See you, Kevin. I gotta head out.